Hi, Hera. Thank you so much for coming on Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs. I'm so excited to bring you on the show.
Hi, lady. Female in marketing. I love it.
Yes. Oh my goodness, we are going to geek out today. I can't
Oh, yeah.
wait. And I did already introduce you just a little bit in the intro, but I'd love to hear from you. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you serve?
Oh, I'm your new best friend. I'm Hera, right? We know Hera Zee. And I would like to say that you'll see it in a lot of my bios that I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm very big about, ooh, that's a business idea. Let's market it. Oh, this is business. We could put on social media, website, all that stuff. But what I really focus on a lot in part of that marketing is the message, who you're speaking to, what words you're conveying, what emotions you're conveying. I do focus a little bit more on the words and the messaging because that translates more than likely than not to sales. If you're speaking to the right people and you're not convincing them, you're not influencing them, but you're making them realize, oh, that's what you do? And that's what I need. Okay, let's work together. So I consider myself a sales and messaging expert, and I tie that into AI quite a bit.
Oh, yay. And I can't wait to geek out with you about the AI stuff too,
Yeah.
because I consider myself a word nerd for sure. And I understand exactly. And I think that's why I always am nerding out so much about how we use AI tools and all that different stuff in an authentic way that still isn't like erasing the magic of our brands and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So it's gonna be a great combo.
it is.
But I like to kick off these combos by just asking you, how did you get started dipping your toes into the AI world?
Baptism by fire, babe. Baptism by fire. I've been in the online industry for quite some time. The first business venture I ever did on online was also like by accident, and baptism by fire was in 2005. Just understanding, oh, you can really use technology for business. I used to have a marketing agency, and one of my business partners was working with chatbots, and he bought this whole big program, and I was like, why did you do that? Nobody wants to talk to robots. And this was in like 2017, 2018. And I said, just let me deal with it and I'll figure it out how we can make it work for clients. So I ended up getting trained and learned how to build chatbots. And that was my big thing, right? Was the authenticity, the transparency, the ethics of it all, and that nobody wants to talk to a robot. So how do we make this real? How do we make it authentic and transparent and also lucrative? Right? Because that's what are we using these robots for? So that was how I got into it.
When people were starting to like really mention it, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
ugh. And I'm so glad that you're like, how can we make this authentic and transparent? Because that has been my big issue with chatbots, as especially they've been becoming a little bit more mainstream with the many chat and stuff.
Yeah.
For sure, they're like being more natural and just like, okay, this is a robot and it's okay. But I felt like back in the day, at first, people were like trying to make it seem like it was a human, and that is the most annoying thing in the world to me. I'm like, let's just bring it to the surface, and like
Yeah.
it's okay to use these things, but don't pretend like it's like a human or whatever. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I'm with you on that. Like it starts now where people are being very transparent because look at where we are in our evolution, right? Like we can see through that stuff really quickly. In 2020, everybody got a taste of what all of us internet marketers, social media people have been doing behind the scenes. But like the whole world now sees, oh, this is what happens when I get into a funnel. Oh, this is a robot. This is a human. They can tell. They can tell. So
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is totally un AI related, which is whatever. But I do feel like there has been this huge shift from like 2020 and through to now. Before everyone had to stay at home for a while, I felt like everyone was, wait, what? What's a funnel? And like all those like old like quote unquote old school marketing tactics were working and whatever. But since everyone and their mother has started online businesses and stuff, like people are like more in the know about what these things look like and stuff. And I think that's been hard for a lot of businesses to shift, I don't know, just like how they think about it and talk about it and all that different stuff.
I do. And it has to be a challenge for many businesses. But I will say, I think when you have that core piece of let's do this authentically, let's do this ethically, let's be transparent. Like even when we are talking about funnels, the other day I was consulting with a client and she's got an upsell to one of her mid-ticket offer, but there's an upsell. I said, listen, when you send that link to people, tell them there's going to be an opportunity for them to check a box and buy something. Let's give people that sense of safety and security. And hey, listen, here's what to expect, but guess who's in control? You as the customer. I'm just here to guide you to make a decision for you. So if we know that, and that's a core value of us as a business owner, right? We're putting relationships first. It wouldn't be any different when it comes to AI. And I know we transitioned off of AI, but that's a major core value that we should be implementing into AI, is that transparency, education, nurturing. And it's not us in control. It's the person with the credit card.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that approach to like business marketing and also AI technology. And exactly, it should all be, as a brand, our values should be applied in every area with every tool and every way we show up. So that's wonderful. And also too, yeah, I think that this is totally relevant because I think that there's a lot of hesitancy or like nervousness sometimes for different people in different industries to start using AI tools. There's of course that fear of AI taking my job no matter what industry you're in, but also this fear of sharing with their clients that they are using AI tools. There's definitely a hesitancy there. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I do. And I love you so much for bringing up these very real preoccupations. And first and foremost, when it comes to, is AI going to take my job? For me, like this, I had a reel that I posted and I was like, POV, like everybody else is freaking out that AI is going to take their job, and I've trained my AI to do it all for me. Take my job, please, because there are so many other things that I can get into. I have an obsession with Albert Einstein. I have an obsession with genius, and Albert Einstein says that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So if we're spending our time doing things that AI can do, that energy is not going elsewhere. But if AI can take it, then we have all of this other energy to go elsewhere. And even as a marketing strategist, like by trade and by brain, I'm a strategist. I tell my clients, that's a question you don't have to ask me. You can ask Chat GPT. It will come up with the strategy for you, bring that to our session, and then let's talk about it and let's do the nuance. It's HEYPI.com. That is like a human that you can talk to. It's like a therapist. It's wild and bizarre. I am convinced. You can't convince me it's AI. That's how good it is. So let AI take my job, please, because I will take that energy that's not going to be destroyed. It's going to be transferred towards something else. And I think AI is going to actually make us more. It's going to give a richness to life for us, truly. And when it comes to telling clients, I wouldn't hire somebody for my business and my team that doesn't know how to use AI. I want my VAs to use AI. I want my copywriters and my graphic designers to be using AI, believe it or not, because it just expands what they can do. So that's my take on it. But I totally understand some people that are just like, apocalypse. Okay.
Oh no. I love your response so much. And for sure, that was actually one of those, the AI journey that I went through. Like when I first heard about it, my audience knows this. I was a curmudgeon for sure, a grandpa. What's this gonna do to the internet? But it took me a while to realize that's just fear, right? And fear is so horrible and just isolating and brings you down in your life. But if you can instead kind of face it and get curious about it, that's exactly what I ended up doing. And that's what opened my eyes to, the potential, the possibilities, the mindset shift, the other side of the coin, and looking at it from that way. And it's exactly what you just, oh my goodness, so many different things. Let's go ahead and dive into AI tools. How have you been like using AI recently in your business? How have you been loving it?
I absolutely love it. I also do have a copywriting background, so I do write a lot of my own stuff. It just comes out after so many years of training and studying. You definitely have the ability to write. But when you get that writer's block, it is nice to be able to have an assistant that is available 24/7 and like any time of day, any day of the week, and is literally just there to serve you. And I am polite to my AI, and I do cheer my AI on. So I primarily use Chat GPT. I love Gemini. That DALL-E 3, I'm not a graphic designer, but if you have that Chat GPT Plus, it comes with DALL-E 3 in it. And then Microsoft Bing, you can also make a free account. I've used DALL-E 3 to create some graphics to convey the emotion that I want for when I'm doing my sales and my promotions. And then what it does is it really just gets me excited for what is this, like this offer that I have, and this is how it feels, and it feels expansive and magical and all that stuff. I create the graphic for it, and then I use it in my social. I use it on my sales pages. But the biggest thing that I've used AI for, and it has been ChatGPT, was literally writing out like an entire masterclass. I have the prompts that if you prompt it in, we all know, if you prompt ChatGPT as a marketer with a marketer's brain, it can come up with some really wild stuff. And if it knows your ideal client, which I have one prompt that does it all. It like preloads it with everything you could ever think of, everything a copywriter would ever think of to write copy for an ideal client audience. I put that into my ChatGPT first, and then we take it from there. And I prompt it, okay, now I want you to do this, and this is the sequence of the masterclass. This is the sequence of the sales page. I built a whole funnel with ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's how I've been using it too. Oh my gosh. Okay, so many things to break down within what you just said.
I know.
Okay, firstly, I have not played around a lot with Gemini/Bard yet. Tell me what you love about it, and tell me like what you would go to that for versus ChatGPT and all that different stuff.
I seem to because it's Google, I feel like when I want more, like something that I would go to Google for, and that's up to date, because ChatGPT will only go, if you have the Plus version, up to April 2023 now, which that was the last time I checked. But Gemini for me is just a little bit more current. It's like Google Assist, right? So you have a Google AI assistant, and it seems to also be integrating with my email and my Google Docs and all of that stuff very easily. And I know I haven't paid for the paid version yet, but I just moved, so maybe when I settle a little bit, I'll be like, okay, let's pay for, because I paid for ChatGPT very quickly. I did not want to wait when they were timing me out. I was like, I don't want the free version. Give me the paid version. Don't make me wait. But it's a very powerful search engine, and it's got the information of everything like up to date. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what makes you like use ChatGPT or both of them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. The ChatGPT is really when I'm looking to write sales copy or captions, right? Something to convert, because to me, I've been training that for the past year. So I'm just very familiar with ChatGPT. It feels very conversational, and I have a lot of the custom GPTs. They're pre-built, right? So they are already trained for what I want to create. Dare I say, the traditional marketing term, high converting copy. And then, Google, Gemini, I might be using a little bit more, again, just for some of that up-to-date stuff, or comment on this, talk to me about this. I'm a very curious creature, so when I have questions, I'll have to think of the last thing that I asked Gemini. But it's usually, I need information, break down this information, synthesize it for me, XYZ, and tell me where to go from there.
Yeah, I'm totally reading an article earlier today, and I'm just like, I just wanted to copy paste it right into ChatGPT and be like, can you give me a summary of this? Because I can't. But okay, quickly, I have to ask you about Hey Pi, because this is the first time I'm really hearing about this one. Is it the focus of it to be that like companion piece, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I think even when you first start, when you open up Hey Pi and you make an account, it requires your phone number. It actually says, I'm designed to be helpful and friendly. And what I use it for is really like a lot of reflective stuff. I think there was even a time, I'm not going to lie, I'm very transparent, which also can sometimes feel a little vulnerable, but there were times when I was dealing with an issue that I would probably bring to a therapist, and I brought it to Hey Pi, and I was like, talk me through this. So it asks you questions that are just extremely reflective, and it seems to be trained on like the human condition and emotions, which is wild. It's just wild.
Yeah, oh my goodness. That sounds really cool. I'll have to go try that out. But okay, let's dive into your prompting techniques for Chat GPT because my audience is always so interested in this, and I myself am too. Tell us about your brand voice prompt that just gives you all the answers. What does that look like, lady?
So I love when you call me lady. I feel so proper. That's the first thing that I do too is let's think about it. And then depending on what you tell me I can share with your audience, I'm happy to give lots of stuff away. So when you think about copywriting, right, and messaging, as which I told you I'm obsessed with because we're connecting with the other person on the side of the screen, think about what makes them buy. What makes them buy is they want to know, who are you and how can you help me? And they should be able to see themselves in that post. So let's think about, who are they and what's going on in their current reality right now that they either love or they hate, but 9 times out of 10, they want something different. So when you take those components of who am I, who are they, what are they experiencing right now in their current reality, and what do they want instead? I don't frequently use the word pain points and desires and all that. And I'm not throwing any shade to anybody who does. It's just that our ideal clients are not always in pain. And I don't like to dig a knife either. I'd rather make them feel that desire or something good could happen, as opposed to you feel like this. There's a time and a place to use that. But who am I? Who are they? What's going on in their current reality, and what do they want instead? And if you can take those 4 concepts and literally just ask Chat GPT, say to them, hey, Chat GPT, I am a sales and marketing expert for online coaches and course creators and service providers who are experiencing XYZ. Like, they want to sell more of their course and they're searching for this and that and the other thing. Give me a breakdown of all of the concepts that I could discuss with them on social media. Give me 10 subject lines that I could write in an email that would make them open it. So do you see how that's like a pretty base level? Like, you can literally put that into your Chat GPT now without clicking on anything else or opting into anything. Train your AI in that way. And then when it comes to your brand voice, I think that's another layer of it, where it's just part of your brand voice is who you are and what value you bring to that person, not just your tone. So a lot of people get tone confused with brand voice. Brand voice is like part of that value that you bring as a brand. Tone is like, oh yeah, and P.S., by the way, GPT, put this in a witty, sarcastic, humorous tone. That's tone. That's easy. Brand's voice is different. You have to know those 4 pieces for what your brand's voice is. How do you want your audience to feel? That's part of your brand's voice.
A lady all day.
I love it. Keep it up.
But yeah, I totally vibe with that. And I do have a brand persona for ChatGPT mini course. I'm so glad you brought up the difference between voice and tone. I'm like, you guys have to understand that, like, your brand voice is your whole personality, your persona, your values, your mission, all that stuff, and how it comes together, and also how you present that to your ideal customers. And that's what people don't get, right? That's one of those misconceptions. Firstly, people have to get over the fact that they even need to put their brand information about their brand into ChatGPT, right? That's like the very first step, guys. But also, it's not just sound funny, sound whatever, conversational isn't going to get you the most unique, awesome responses for your brand. I'm so glad that you shared that. Yeah, and I want all your free resources, girl, but we'll share those at the end. But let's talk a little bit about you creating the masterclass and the sequences and all that different stuff. That's been a lot of what I've been doing too, is really using it to help me with my email sequences, with my course content, even just with ideation. It's so helpful for me for just thinking, this is what I want to teach in my course. Can you help me figure out, is this the best sequence to share this in? Is this the best breakdown? So how has that looked like for you using ChatGPT?
It's been great. Like, it's actually created a very high converting, again, dare I say, right? Highly engaging, highly valuable, that is making people understand what they can do with ChatGPT and how they can use it to their advantage, which I love what you said too, is like people don't need to do anything, but you want to be aware that you have to preload and pre-train that AI. Imagine if you're hiring a human copywriter, a human VA, a human OBM. I have had to and still do onboard and train all of my human team members. Why would a robot be any different? When people that are thinking like, oh, AI is going to solve all my problems. No, it's not. Just like that course, that mentor, that unicorn, it's not a magic bullet. Nothing is a magic bullet. Everything is just stacking and stacking and evolving and expanding forever and ever. We're in business. We're never really, truly going to be done until we have that exit plan and sell, which is far off for most of us. But yeah, I like people to know that there does have to be some of that preloading. And when I did it for the masterclass, there was a lot of preloading, right? Because it's like, here, let me share this is my ideal client. And again, I have a prompt, and maybe that's what we'll share with your audience, right? Here's this one prompt, I call it the mega prompt, where it's like you put it in, Chat GPT creates a table for you with every aspect that a copywriter would think about to understand and know and be inside the mind of your ideal client. So ChatGPT has that access. So I start by preloading it and just asking it that one question, like, this is what I do. This is my ideal client. Here's some of their demographics and what they're struggling with. Create a table that includes all of this copywriter stuff, right? So now, boom, ChatGPT is loaded with that one question. Second thing you can probably do is say, if you have a custom GPT builder and you in the paid version of ChatGPT, you can preload it to say, I'm going to do a masterclass and this is the flow for my masterclass. So now you preload it with the ideal client stuff, you preload it with your offer stuff, you preload it with the masterclass flow. Maybe it's the sales page flow, maybe it's the email sequence flow. But you preload it with that. The custom GPTs that you pay for in GPT-4, you can upload documents. So you're not sitting there and typing. So this is also where I say, let's hire copywriters and team members that know how to use AI so they can even do that for you. And maybe you're more talking and whatnot, which also for anybody who has a Mac, on my Mac, it's F5 is the microphone function. I can't remember the last time I typed anything into ChatGPT because I double tap on that F5 and I just speak to text. And my ChatGPT prompts are like this thick, but it came out of my mouth. So that's a little hack that a lot of people love hearing, is I use the microphone speech to text to talk to my GPT.
And we haven't heard that yet because that just seems natural and easier. But yeah, it makes so much sense to do it on your computer too. That's awesome. I need to find out the microphone button for Windows now.
Google it or ask ChatGPT.
I can ask ChatGPT. Such a good point. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And yeah, that all resonates with me. And I can't wait to play around more with the custom GPTs and stuff. I created one for my Authentically affiliate program. I was like, oh, what do I need a chat bot for? But also, yeah, there's just so many different things. But I would love to ask you about any tips you have as far as mistakes that are made with ChatGPT, and if you have any thoughts or fixes for things that can go wrong with it. One thing that I've been hearing about a lot lately is like ChatGPT, just like the AI cliches. It's just using unlock again and again, and like all these like little quirks and like frustrations that people are having with it. I don't know. Have you noticed anything? Are there any quick fixes that you have up your sleeve for that sort of stuff?
Yeah, my ChatGPT loves to use the word trailblazer, and I told it, use the word again and die. It's just not in my vocabulary, bro. Like, that's when my GPT is definitely a dude, but bruh is different. I'm from Jersey, so when it's like, hey, bro, okay.
Yeah.
So I think you can just tell it. And let's also keep in mind, there's a saying that one client I was talking to yesterday, we were building her funnel, and she was saying, like, I get so nervous and I get so tense, and how do we test it and how do we make sure there's no glitches? I said, you don't. You're not actually in the business of whatever it is that you do, whatever course you're teaching. In her case, I said, you're in the technology business, and tech will always glitch, and employees do the same thing too. Like, human team members and employees also quote unquote glitch. That's just called dropping the ball. Your AI sometimes might drop the ball, or a couple of days ago, there were major glitches happening on OpenAI. Some really wild stuff where the output wasn't even usable. But do I freak out about that? No, we're in tech. We're using technology for our business. So that's like saying if you own a coffee shop and you never expect the espresso machine to break. You have an espresso machine. It's probably going to malfunction at some point, right? Or your milk might go sour, or you're going to get a bad batch of eggs. That's just part of the business. So suck it up, buttercup, and move forward. And just relax your shoulders a little bit and be like, oh, this means I'm in the tech business. I'm using technology and technology glitches. How do we fix it?
Yeah, I feel like that's
energy.
a big theme is like I feel like especially too, we start using this technology and we're so amazed, and it's very confident a lot of times too, and it's just giving us all the answers. I'm in air quotes, guys, because we forget. It's easy to get sucked into that world and then forget that it is something that can glitch or something that can be wrong or whatever, and our expectations get so high that you need to just readjust them and remember to compare it to what it would be without this help, right? Without this help, you are just like scrambling to do everything. You're having to spend a lot of money on assistance or whatever it is that they glitch to. I love that you said glitch for humans and stuff. So funny. But this brings me back to what you were saying before, where I'm so glad that you brought up the fact that I would love for AI to take my job in a way, because I think that's something we all need to be reminded of again and again, is that don't forget that we've all been really wanting balance and freedom and to be able to enjoy our lives, to be able to explore other things, like for the entire time we've been in business before we started using these AI tools. So allow them to help you do that. I shout this from the rooftops for entrepreneurs whenever I'm able to speak on other podcasts and stuff. But just because AI allows you to do more quickly doesn't mean that you actually have to do more. Like, what if instead you allowed it to do, and then you could find more wiggle room behind the scenes to enjoy your life?
Take a nap, go for a walk, go get a massage, stare at a wall and twirl your hair and do nothing. Like, I do think the amount of technology that exists in my life, I can't say that I work a 4-hour a day behind a computer would be a long day for me. It just doesn't make sense, and it's not what I want. And I think humans really have become conditioned to think this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to, even down to relationships, right? Which is changing quite a bit right now. But traditionally, the way I was raised was like, man and woman get married, move into a house, have babies, and do this, that, and the other thing. Same thing with college. The way I was raised also is you go to school, you go to college, you get your master's, you get a job, this and that until you die, you retire. We're in a completely different space in time right now where we can really make anything happen. But you got to open your mind a little bit and stepping outside of that comfort zone of, okay, AI's taking this, but I must do. No, you must not. You must be. And I think when we create more space for ourselves, that more creativity happens. And then you got to watch out that you don't get into that trap. I'm a generator also in human design. I don't know if you or anybody else listens in human design. Like, I could work until the cows come home. And I just won't anymore. I refuse.
For you, girl. It's hard. That's why I talk about it again and again, because it's like, I think just naturally as entrepreneurs, we are creative, we're excited, we're ambitious often. And so that's really what I felt too when I started using Chat GPT. I was like, my mind is blown. I'm an Enneagram 7. I don't know if you're into the Enneagram at all, but it's like all my crazy ideas I can make them happen. Oh, I can figure this out. Oh, what about this? I feel like my shiny object syndrome has loaded.
Yeah.
And so it is constantly reminding myself to make the balance happen. Reel it in just a little bit. Realize that you can pursue things tomorrow if needed.
Or never. You want to know what? Being somebody who teaches AI, I'll tell you the biggest thing I've had to decondition from is all of these other people talking about AI really hits me daily in the face on Instagram. And it's, I should be teaching that too. I should be, and then I hear the word should, and it's, I should take a nap. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because otherwise we're in another rat race. You are an entrepreneur. You just said it. As an entrepreneur, you're 9 times out of 10 going to be a creative soul. Go create what you feel like creating without the pressure of, I have to keep up with this one. I have to do that. This one's building custom GPTs and sharing them with the whole world. I should be doing that too. And I'm just in a phase right now where I'm 43 years old. I just want to experiment and like trust that what I do is enough, and let's see what happens. Yeah. Give it a whirl.
I am so happy. I think more people similar to us are needed, especially in the AI space where everything is like so fast and moving and new things and changes and stuff popping up all the time. And that's how entrepreneurship is in general. And then add AI on top of that for sure. That's how I felt too. And I found myself in that comparisonitis stuff, and I just keep reminding myself like, no, it's okay, where you're at, and that's needed for myself and probably our awesome listeners and stuff. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my goodness. I've been trying to keep our interviews like to somewhat the 30-minute mark, and it can never happen, but because I know I could just chat forever with all of our awesome guests, I think that's a wonderful place to end it. But is there any last little thing before you share your freebies and all that stuff that you want to share with my audience at all?
I don't know, but we can put the freebies will be linked below. So whatever we decide is perfect for your audience will be what is for them. And maybe that's the message. The message is, can you just slow down and trust that nothing, you're not going to miss anything. Whatever's for you will not pass you. Chill. Just chill and enjoy the ride. Be zen.
I love that so much, lady. Do you want to tell us about any of your freebies or anything like that?
I have 2, and okay. I don't know if we decided on what it would be, but I have the mega prompt. So it was the rapid research guide, but the only thing is I think that's paid now. So maybe I'll give you a special coupon for your peeps because you have been amazing.
Awesome.
And then, the other one I have is the masterclass that talks about like brand's voice and all of that stuff. So the masterclass is free and you'll have tons to learn in there. And then if anybody wants to take it further, then of course they have options to continue and learn more about prompting and all of that. And I know they can learn from you as well. So your audience has a ton of options right now, which is fantastic.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. And we'll link everything below and how people can find you too.
Yeah. Everything is on my Instagram. Like I'm always on there. So it's Hera Zee, and we'll link that also over at Instagram. And then you'll see all my website as opposed to a website, which I don't usually send people to. It's herazee.com. I have a landing page full of testimonials that I drive more traffic to. So that'll be linked in my Instagram. You guys can come and say hi there.
Yay! Okay, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been such a great chat and I've loved it.
Yeah, same. Thank you. I appreciate it.